thought I'd do a quick video on underfloor heating because I covered this before, but I didn't actually show what was inside this sandwich. This is running off the diesel heater and the Boble Van's water heater kit, and just ran 2 tubes coming from the water heater kit into some copper tube here, which I've cut off. I'm taking this out because truthfully I don't need it. It's 3 winters I've done right through with this van, and for the last 2 winters I haven't used underfloor heating because I'm Scottish and tough. But I thought it might be useful to people to actually see what was inside here if they want to do it themselves. And I've actually got 2 sets of underfloor heating here. I've got what's under here, which is copper tubes, which you'll see when I break this laminate. And I've got the infrared, which runs off 12 volts. That's going to be the first thing that comes out. This is quite good, this film. I've done another video on this. I've got it installed in my driver's footwell under the mat, and turn it on, give it 12 volts, and 5 minutes later you've got start to get nice toasty feet. Great in the winter, that's very useful. But here I've never really used it, so that's coming out. Really good stuff though, dead cheap. And it just comes in a roll and you can cut it. So each one of these strips, or each one of these sections, is about 65 watts at 12 volts. You just give it a bit of a feed and runs off a little thermostat, or you can just have it on a switch, or you can put it through an Arduino and have like a timer, so you press it on and it comes on for 10 minutes and then off, whatever you want. But it's very versatile stuff. So that's the first thing that's going to come out, and then I'm going to break this. I'm going to split this laminate and show people how I've ran the tubes and everything underneath here for the water underfloor heating. This ran off the diesel heater. I've got the Boble Van's water heating kit, and all I did was I took a feed off that to a couple of pipes coming down here, which are chopped, and it ran through here. So forgive the compressor. So lots of screws taken out. If you notice, I've actually drawn the route of the pipes on here, which has aided me to position screws to miss the pipes, because this is a sandwich layer. So let's lift this up. This is what's underneath, and this is what I didn't show in my video the last time because I just kind of did it and then did a video. So let's pull this out and I can explain a bit more. So this is essentially how it works. That's your diesel heater with your cold air coming in there and your hot feed there. If you've got the Boble Van's heat exchanger kit, you've got your header tank, your water comes down into there, gets heated, and it comes out of there through you take a pipe through your underfloor heating, which is what this is here, copper tube, and back up to your water tank, which you can then sort of do whatever you want with, you know, whatever your use case is for that. And you'd put your pump in, you know, anywhere where, you know, it was convenient to do so. So that's essentially how it works. So how you build your sandwich is this: you've got your wooden floor, and then you stick some, this is just some foam insulation, dead thin stuff, covered in foil to reflect the heat back up. You've then got this sandwich layer, which is what I've cut out just with the jigsaw to run these tubes. You can see how they run through there. You can see the imprint of those coming through there. And then you stick another, where you can actually just stick your insulation underlay, and then your carpet on top of that, and that works really well. I found that if you I've had a layer of wood over here, which you saw previously. I found that if you put a layer of wood on there, it will cool down really quickly when you turn your heater off and stop circulating the pump. So by putting a layer of wood over here underneath your carpeting system, it's a bit of thermal mass, so it heats up the wood, and that'll stay warm for, you know, an hour and a half, couple of hours depending. Now this is the key to it all. You need to get the heat from these tubes into your floor, and if you just run the pipes through here, you'll find that the temperature of the water coming back from the return is more or less the same as the feed from your heater, and you're just not going to get any heat coming through your floor at all. So from a trial and error of a few things, I bought some copper wool and filled all these gaps here, and then covered it in copper tape over there, then overlaid it with aluminium tape, and this gets the heat into the wood, and it's actually the wood which heats up. If you don't do this, you're going to have no heat transfer at all. use copper wool. You could use steel wool, it's not going to do anything though. There's very little thermal conductivity compared to copper. And the reason I use copper over aluminium with the tape as well is because copper has twice the thermal conductivity of aluminium. So if you're going to do it, just buy the copper wool. It was about 20 quid to do this whole lot. And you know, I could have done all this in copper tape. But I ran out and used more than I thought and just wanted it done, so I did aluminium. And it's worked absolutely fine. I had a few sort of kicks of the cat off this, and it was absolutely spot on. So you really need this really is key. If you don't do this, the whole lot's a complete waste of time. Another thing I had in here was a little temperature probe, and this is wired up to an Arduino microcontroller, which I used to as the thermostat and everything, but you don't need that. In actual fact, I had the Arduino turned off a lot of the time, and I just used to run the circulating pump from a little switch and turned it off and on as needed. So yeah, not needed at all. You don't need to really control this with a microprocessor whatsoever. Just a switch controlling the circulating pump, which is tiny. The one that you get the Bobo Vans kit works absolutely fine with this, and yeah, it's only 8mm tube, so it's not pushing a huge volume through, and yeah, works really well. The other thing that was really useful was after the copper tube had snaked through the floor there, rather than just returning it straight to the tank, is I took it to here and had a rubber tube here which came to a little flow indicator, and then went back onto there, so I could actually see if the pump was circulating, but also that little flow indicator. They're a PC cooling accessory. They're about a tenner off eBay, and it's just got a little fan and you can see if the water's flowing, but it's also got a little drain plug in. With this being the lowest point in the water system, I found it useful for draining the whole lot, so that's well worth doing as well. And super simple, super cheap. So that's all the tape taken off the top, and you can see the root of the tubes. This is why I used more copper tape than I'd originally planned, because I actually put the copper tape, made a little bed for it, for the pipes to sit in, and then packed the copper wool all around here, and that I think was well worth doing as well. Again, just helps to transfer the heat into into this material here, which has the thermal mass. So yeah, there we go. Would I have done anything differently? With anything to improve the system? Not really. It worked really well. There was a few kicks off the cat to get it running. Would I do it again? Nah, I wouldn't. Ultimately, you know, you change a wee bit of habit in life, start taking cold showers and things like that, bit of cold water immersion, and you'll not feel the cold anymore and won't be so soft. So none of this rubbish is needed. So there we go, all stripped out. I'm going to leave this reflective foam stuff in, because that's quite good. I can actually feel the heat radiating back through my hand. I'd obviously previously put some infrared film in there and forgotten all about it, but yeah, I'm just going to leave that in because it's all wired up. So here's the heating end of the system here. This is the diesel heater's been taken out, stripped out. This is the hot air feed from the diesel heater. It goes into this little radiator. This is what Bobo Vans supply, is these adapters in different diameters, and the radiator. A really good system. It's about 3 years I've had it now. So this heats the water. So there's a tank, and you can put in, you know, the tank supplied or whatever, but buy your own, and it comes down into the radiator, comes out here, down the tube, into the underfloor heating, back up this tube, and in. So there you go. So there we go, job done. I've saved myself a fair bit of weight with pulling all this sort of stuff out, which was kind of another goal. There's the back of the sandwich layer, so you can see that. Thought it'd be useful. If you've got any questions, if anybody's planning to do this, or have done it and want to share with other people, just chuck it in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any questions on this. And so yeah, hope you found this useful. Good luck.